My name is Dupe Onitiri Abiola. I'm a Lagosian from the Onitiri family. And I was married to Chief Kalu Abiola, the elected president by the people of Nigeria before he was assassinated. June 12 has what I can call two-edged sword. To some, it is good, but to others, it is terrible. To a lot of people that know what they have done, how much they've committed and sacrificed for June 12, it is good, it is important.
June 12 is our own democracy day. May 29 is an ego thing. It's a reminder of military dictatorship.
There has never been any election like that. And there has not been anyone after that. So it is a day that they must remember because the whole of Nigeria spoke as one. And they decided this is what we wanted. But the fact that, some people didn't want it to happen, and they've been trying so much to make sure it didn't happen, and they're still dreaming that it did not happen, but it did happen.
I think the reason why we are not celebrating June 12 as Democracy Day in Nigeria is because we don't have Democrats yet. Most of the guys who are on the scene, who are in charge now, never participated in that struggle. In fact, it is those who are against that struggle, who are pro-annulment, who are in charge mostly across the country today. And so they will do what they can to consign that date into history because they are not part of the history. And in fact, they were beneficiaries of the annulment. So, but for genuine democracy-loving Nigerians who struggle for democracy, they know that June 12 symbolizes democracy in this country, unlike May 29, which is just a military appointed date to hand over.
The discredited dictator, General Ibrahim Babangida, appears to have lost out in the scheme of things. But that is not to dismiss some of his agents. The forces of annulment have been refurbished by the ruling party, the People's Democratic Party. It is all a desperate attempt to maintain the hegemony of the forces, the principalities of darkness that have taken over our country.
It's sad that up till today, we still find out that the tiny cabal, those who annulled June 12, they are still within the corridors of power with their civilian collaborators. And that is why all of us, the critical mass, must remain vigilant. All of us must rededicate ourselves to the emancipation of this country.
A lot of people paid a lot of price for it. A lot of students were killed. A lot of people were killed. MKO Abiola himself sacrificed for democracy in this country. So there is no way they can wish it away. June 12 is here to stay. There is no way you can write the history of Nigeria and you're not going to mention June 12. There is no way this current democracy that we have in Nigeria will be written without the blood of Moshood Abiola and others.
I think the way the students reacted after the belated gesture of the president by renaming the University of Lagos, the president took the wrong step. The only befitting memorial we can give to an MKO Abiola is the de-annulment of June 12 and the posthumous declaration of MKO Abiola as a past president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And we should have his portrait, just like we have portraits of all past heads of states. We should also have MKO Abiola's portraits everywhere.
The only way they can actually immortalize his name is to do things, policies that will bring poor people out of poverty. They want to immortalize his name, they want to do something for Moshood Abiola, get the people of Nigeria out of poverty. We have no business at all with poverty.
MKO should be, we have a national stadium that is lying in Abuja and is in the center of the town. That stadium should be named after MKO. He was a pillar of sports in Nigeria. So they should name him something like a stadium which is centrally owned. I'm in support of the students. You cannot deface a university like University of Lagos. There are many airports in this country that can name after Abiola.
What happened with the situation at the University of Lagos, I think people misunderstood the fact that Abiola paid the maximum price. He laid his life down. They didn't realize that he had the power at that time to carry arms, to use force, to take over the government. If they don't know what happened or what would have happened then, now they call it Arab Spring. We had summer revolution too. If they don't know what would have happened then, they should look now into Syria. Look now into Iraq. Look into Libya and look everywhere. And then you realize what Nigeria will look like today. And Nigeria is much bigger, and we have more ethnic division than all those countries. So you can imagine and visualize what Nigeria would have been like now. Abiola, realizing that he didn't want that to happen, he decided, I'm going to give my life for this if it meant that I have to do that. If Abiola had taken arms, there's not going to be University of Lagos or any university. How many people will be alive? Do you know how many thousands of people have been killed in Syria? It happened recently even in Côte d'Ivoire. We had two leaders there. They both refused to step down. And the president naming Moshood, the university after MKO, how can you just name the university? MKO stood for free education at all levels. Did they say they're not going to pay fees anymore at the University of Lagos or something like that? I don't understand the situation.
Well, I think that there are so many issues attached to that incident. For one, like I said, that most of the students who are maybe even final year at the University of Lagos today now were not born during June 12. That's one. Two is the fact that there may be emotional attachment to the name University of Lagos. It's not a protest against Abiola per se, it's a protest against the government that made the decision. I remember in 1987 after Awolowo died, and University of Lagos was named after Awolowo. Much as I hold Awolowo in great esteem, I was part of the protest against the rejection of naming of our university after Awolowo at that time. So I think there's a kind of emotional attachment to the name of the university, and the rejection is not a rejection of MKO, but a rejection of the lack of thoughts that went into the whole process of changing the name of the university without consultation with the university community. Just wake up one morning and just hear the news that their name of the university have been changed. The students are bound to react.
Well, the riot was totally unnecessary by the University of Lagos students. At the same time, the government should have made some consultations before making the announcement. If he had done that, the government would have been properly advised that there was no point localizing the mandate of June 12. A national institution, an institution in Abuja, say the National Stadium, or if it must be a university, the University of Abuja should have been better named as Moshood Abiola University, so that the national significance of the June 12 mandate will not be in any way diminished.
They imprisoned so many people. They killed an innocent woman, Elijah Kudurat Abiola. They thought they'd silenced everybody. They were shocked that I was going to come out because they didn't like, where did she come from? I was behind the scene. I'm always behind the scene. But for the fact that she was killed and they thought they were going to silence everybody, I decided to come out. So we fought for over 4 years, and they were surprised that we could go that long. And I really campaigned internationally to gather support for my husband and for June 12 for actualizing of the mandate. So when they realized it's not going to go away, that was when they now have their own master plan in such a way that, okay, we'll leave. But the point is, the Constitution they left for us behind, they put all the power in the center because they thought they were going to still come back in another form, and which is true. Majority of them just removed the uniform and put on what we call the civilian clothes, and now they're government.
And the forces that are not the election who prefer May 29. That was the day of disengagement of the last set of military dictators. But for the forces of democracy, certainly, June 12, a democracy day, if you want to choose between the two. That choice of June 12 will eventually become an official holiday. June 12 will eventually become an official holiday by the government of Nigeria, even though now only a few states recognize June 12 as a democracy day. But ultimately, I believe it's going to be a national holiday.
So June 12 remains our own democracy day.
When they annulled the election, people still keep remembering June 12, that this is the actual democracy day in Nigeria. This is the actual day that the people of Nigeria spoke as one, that we want freedom. We want a government of the people, by the people, for the people. And that is democracy. And that is the date Nigeria should celebrate as Democracy Day.
Some of us will have wanted him to proclaim himself the president of the country after the collapse, after Babangida was chased out of power, when the interim national government, the interim national government was illegally installed. And another opportunity he missed was when the national interim government, the interim national government, was declared illegal and unconstitutional by Lagos High Court on 10th of November 1993. It was the hesitation to proclaim itself that led to the crisis that we witnessed on November 17, 1993, when General Abacha and Dia rolled out the tanks, forced out Chief Ernest Chonekon, the head of the contraption called interim national government, and installed themselves.
The number one thing that I wish he would have done that he didn't do was the family. And that tells you how important the people of this country was to Moshood Abiola. You know, not happy that he was not able to help a lot of people the way he used to do. You know, he helped so many people.
MKO Abiola, immediately after the announcement that he left the country and he got back, a meeting was held. Bekoran Sonkuti, Ganifawe, myself, and several other activists. When I confronted him and I said, Chief, that you behave like a coward. Why did you run? Why did you leave the country? And now are we sure that after some time now, you will not disappear? He said, June, a corpse cannot run away from the undertaker. I've come for this mandate, and I promise you that I will never ever let all of you down. And MKO Abiola never did. And why he said a corpse cannot run away from the undertaker, it then means that he has given everything in totality. And so MKO kept by these words until the last.
I remember that the day he got the ticket of SDP to contest the Nigeria elections, I remember the speech he made very clearly, and it rings very loud in my ears. He said that the assignment that has been given is like when a community is afflicted and they look for an aruba, someone that will carry the calabash of offering and go to the river to offer sacrifice to the god, that person may go and come back and may not come back. But the most important thing is for the community to be liberated from the affliction. And that's what happened to MKO Abiola. He carried the calabash, he became our aruba, but he did not come back. Unfortunately, the affliction that made him to carry that calabash is still very much with us, and that's the painful side part of it.